Welcome back, Cat Jammers. What a banger break playlist we have. Welcome everyone back to EU Masters. We're going into game number 4. That means it's time to swap casters and Munchables. And for the first time ever, I'm joined by Troubling. Trouble, how are you doing? I feel like it's been a long time coming that we get to cast together.
Oh my god, I'm so excited we finally get to cast together, and we're also closing out the first week in the groups. This is do or die for the remaining teams. I'm just so excited to see how this day is going to pan out.
Yeah, as you can see, groups B through D have already played 3 games apiece. It's just Group A remaining, so that's what we're going to be jumping into for the rest of the day, except for, of course, Illuminar down there and Macko Esports, who also still have to play one more cheeky game. So we'll do Group C first, and then we'll finish out the day with Group A. And as you rightly say, finish our first 4 days of EU Masters. We're getting towards the halfway mark, which means the stakes are getting a little bit higher for some of these teams. But let's quickly jump into one of the players specifically in this next matchup. And the guy that we've got to talk about, it's going to be Macko stepping up against Illuminar first here. And the guy I really want to talk about is StenBosse, because this guy, when the team is playing towards him, has been popping off in the lane. When he's able to get a good matchup like this Renekton into Nocturne, he's more than happy to punish the mistakes of his opponents.
Yeah, and he's more than happy to take the lead, you know, CSD at 15, he has more experience, but then when he gets put onto the weak side, when the one paying attention to him is the enemy mid laner and the enemy jungler, but not from his side, he kind of turns to fall kind of flat, at least in the early game, as we can see here onto the gangplank as well. So I really do like the guy when he has the upper hand, when he does get the counter pick, when he gets to play aggressive, when he gets to go into lane and kind of like run it down all the way to the nexus in the best way possible. And that also ties in on the fact that Macko are blue side, so most likely they're going to have to blind pick something for StenBosse, which makes it kind of difficult to get that one up on the matchup.
Yeah, that'll be the big thing, is like if the top lane counter pick can come through for him, but also against a team like Illuminar, this is a team we've talked about a lot of times as being a fairly slow team. So you can expect that maybe this is one of the lanes against Melonik that he can get away with a little bit more, because we've seen Melonik quite happy to go on things like the gangplank and play towards that weak side instead. So we'll have to see how that top lane matchup pans out. But I do want to talk about what's at stake here, Trouble. I want to kind of lay it out, because as you said before, this is going to be the halfway mark after this game for each of the teams. And Macko, especially on 0 and 2 right now, they've really got to buckle up their ideas if they want to make it back in this group. Because remember, this is the group with UCAM and Mouse at the top of it.
It's a really rough group, and you're already 0-2 down. You're coming as the first seed from Italy, so you're literally the top representative of your region. And so far, yes, we've seen a couple of good signs, but I just haven't necessarily been able to see what can Macko really do. They completely dominated the Italian scene. They literally run over everyone. They run over Makers as well, 3-1 in the finals. I just haven't necessarily seen the dominance. And when I do see signs of it, I'm not necessarily sure where it comes from.
Yeah, it feels like we need to see a little bit more footage from that side. But over on Illuminar, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by what they've been able to do so far. Taking a win over Mouse means if they can take games off of Macko here, if they could get 2-0 across the whole groups, if they can look like a favorite over Mouse as well, it's very possible that Illuminar makes it out of the group stage. We're into the draft here, and Senna going to be our first ban here, Trouble.
Yeah, of course, you want to take that away from all of you. We talked about slow and steady wins the race. And Illuminar, in one of the previous games, they played the Senna Kenj, and they didn't touch the team fight button up to the point where Senna had 106 CS. Odi gets hit with the second one, the Jinx. What next? What's the next one? You're going to hit Tristana is out. Are you going to hit Caitlyn? It's not that much of a hyper carry as a Jinx or a Senna is. So I'm waiting to see, are you really going to go for a third AD right there? Because if you do, then you leave so many possible picks open, and you only have one on blue side, which means that a lot more will go on the side of Illuminar.
Yeah, so taking the Karma off the board, instead one of these strong lane, one of these strong lane bullies that you could see up towards the top side potentially with a Nocturne ban. Something like a Hecarim would be a pretty good ban here. We've seen Hecarim get through as the blue first pick so many times across the U-Masters. I think it's a giga busted pick. I'd love to see Illuminar banning that one away.
Why do you say that? Hecarim is completely balanced, same as Hecarim. I think here is going to be like another handshake probably with the Hecarim and the Udyr. They're going to first pick the Seraphine, which we haven't necessarily seen too much. And that was my point of contention between these two, because we know that Udyr plays it in the bot lane as well. He plays a lot of mages. So something that can majorly scale, that's not necessarily an AD, could be something like a mage down the bot.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, Seraphine as well. Good flex picks, so they can throw that wherever they want to. Could go mid, could go down to the bottom side in either of those roles. So we'll have to wait and see. But the priority jungles we talked about, Hecarim open, but Illuminar saying papatabachi wants that Udyr. We've seen papatabachi playing the Udyr already in the tournament. Definitely a comfort pick for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have. So we've had a little bit this conversation back and forth of how Hecarim can definitely adapt more to situations and has more tools for a back and forth, front to back team fight, heavy engage, heavy dive, or playing more kiting compositions. He has a lot more of that. And I was seeing the Orianna right here, I kind of scratched my head and I'm like, a Hecarim would have been so beautiful together with the Orianna, because you get to have Czajek's Orianna for free. He's an absolute monster on that champion.
Now, it's important to remember as well, though, that papatabachi really not a Hecarim player, hasn't been all split long. But let's talk about that lock-in, right? Because we've not only got a Sion coming in for potentially StenBosse, also got a Karthus there, which you have to assume is going to Cboi.
This is a Cboi special. This is something that he played domestically in Italy, something that he dominated on, a pocket pick, if you will. And we're at the point where we're on the halfway mark. If you're not going to start pulling the aces out your sleeve, if you're Macko, if you're the first seed from your country, you're already 0-2 down. I like seeing this. I like the risk. Bring the pocket pick out and try to make something out of it.
Yeah, bring out something special. Bring out something a little bit spicy. You're 0-2 down. What have you got to lose? You got to get these wins on the board. And speaking of aces up the sleeve, we've got an ace in the hole, as Caitlyn is locked in as the final lock-in here for Illuminar. And it does mean they're going to be setting up to have quite a strong bot lane duo there. Caitlyn is definitely a champion. You lock in when you want to win the lane.
I'm thinking Morgana's. I'm thinking Lux's bot lane. Something crazy went past my head as well, and I thought of Soraka. You know, you've got the Seraphine in there, you've got the Karthus coming in later on. A lot of thoughts have been going through my head. Something like the Bard. I'm just thinking of possibilities that someone can get saved off of Cboi's hands when he presses that magic R button that makes health bars completely disappear. But so far, they're not going to go with the obvious enchanters when it comes to the supports from the side of Macko. They're going to choose to ban out the Thresh, something that can get Udyr very easily in and out of sticky situations as well. I just want to see a really strong bot lane for Illuminar, because this is where they shine.
Yeah, and while we wait for these last couple of bans to come on through, I want to quickly mention this Karthus, because we talked about Cboi, this being a little bit of a special pick for him. Importantly, he's played it 3 times so far in Season 11. He has a 100% win rate and a 9.5 KDA across the course of those 3 games. That's been mostly in the local scene though, right? Now he has to bring it to the EU Master stage, and I think that is where we'll see him truly forged as a champion if he can make this happen. But the Ashe band coming on through, could see the support pool being pinched more with the Rel taken off.
Okay, seeing the Thresh, seeing the Rel, knowing that Darkrai plays the Seraphine, I'm almost sure that this Seraphine is gonna go down bot lane to the hands of Darkrai, and if the Caitlyn is paired up with an enchanter, Seraphine does very well in a poke style lane against that. They're gonna choose, I really like this. This is very, very, very wise. We talked about how StenBosse wants to have the counter matchup, but he mainly plays melees. Gnar does very, very well in a bunch of melee matchups, and they're gonna leave last pick the support to see where the Seraphine's going first.
Yeah, we'll see. And obviously with that sign, you'd expect StenBosse to be taking that one. So we'll see where the draft goes. But
don't say that yet.
Renekton locked in, so everything now totally. I'm taking my hands off this one. This is on you, Trouble. Now you got to figure out the rest of this draft.
Sebekx has played it domestically. It's gonna go in the mid lane. He does really well into mages because he's very beefy. He trades really well as well. He gets a lot of HP back from his fully Fury charged Q. It's something that he played domestically as well. 100% win rate on it. Only one game, but he has a 100% win rate on it. And again, Darkrai onto the Seraphine. So very well read from the side of Illuminar. I really like the wise decision of waiting to see where the Seraphine's gonna end up. I thought from the start it was pretty telegraphed, because you don't want to necessarily have a Seraphine mid with a Karthus. You need something with a lot more pressure. And Darkrai has domestically played the Seraphine a lot in the bot lane. So It was a little bit telegraphed, but I do like the safety from Illuminar saying, wait a second, let's see where they play first, and then we pick.
Yeah, well, Darkray's still hovering the Sion for now, but I'm not anticipating that's the way that we go down here. On the other side, though, for Illuminar, pretty standard draft when you consider how many bans were towards the AD carry pool. The Caitlyn not that far from the meta. We've seen it a few times across the course of the season with the Orianna, the Udyr, the Gnar. It's just power picks across the board for the top side of the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we look towards the top side, we mentioned how important it was for StenBosse to get the upper hand in this matchup. Now, the Sions, the Orns are sort of champions that are made to lose gracefully, right? You slowly but surely get to building tanky, you slowly but surely get beefy. Your role in the team is not to carry, it's literally to just be in front of everyone, be beefy, taking all the hits on you. So I would like to see potential pressure up top from Melonik onto this Gnar to try and choke down StenBosse, because that is the win condition for Macko. Get StenBosse ahead, get the game.
Yeah, but the only downside on that win condition I can see is they've locked in Sion for him. This feels like they've changed the plan, right? It feels like they're going for Cboi to be the carry.
Yesterday got a quadra kill. Don't diss my boy Sion.
That's true. That's very true. I can't really argue with that one. So maybe StenBosse is going to be the carry after all. Maybe I'll go lethality Sion. We'll have to wait and see. Over to the side of Illuminar, though, when we're looking at this composition, we mentioned, obviously, Orianna going to be very good at scaling. But you can see there's a lot of push priority across these lanes with the Caitlyn in the bottom side, with a Gnar in the top side. It feels like papatabachi is going to have a lot of freedom in this early game to do whatever he wants.
The difficult part is that I don't believe Czajek will ever have priority in the mid lane, just because of the fact that Sebekx it doesn't cost any mana to push the wave. He'll just go in full fury, clear the wave back out, and he also has a teleport. Czajek here, because he does respect the stun coming in from the Renekton, the all-in potential, if the stun does land on him, he has to respect that and go with the cleanse, which means that his back timers are not necessarily going to be as quick as when you have the teleport, and you have to spend so much mana trying to constantly push your wave in, that Sebekx is going to have the upper hand, which for Cboi, that's a really good thing playing the Karthus.
And I just love that we're seeing Cboi bring this Karthus to the stage. As I mentioned in
chat,
really, 100%
do
win
you
rate
really?
over the 3 games. I do, I really do. I love to see crazy stuff. My only disappointment is that we don't see the Nocturne Karthus combo that we've seen sprout up across the course of the season.
Right? It was open. I can't remember. Was it banned? I don't think it was banned.
Nocturne was in the first ban phase.
Okay, it was. Okay, fair enough.
Couldn't quite go for that one fully, but definitely a potent combo. But I'm excited to see Cboi grabbing, not only because it's a Karthus, but because it's comfort for him, right? I like to see when you're stepping onto the EU Master stage, you're here to make a name for yourself. This isn't just about winning games in the short term. This is about setting up for a career within Europe. So being able to bring out these stylish picks that you can shine individually on is what we want to see. And I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Cboi and what he can do over the course of this game.
Yep, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Cboi and when he presses his big R button, but where I'm gonna put my finger on here in Munchables is definitely Sebekx. This guy has an absolute champion, I don't know, ocean as big as the flat earth that we live on at this point. This is how huge his champ pool is. Being able to pull out picks such as the Renekton, he has enchanters, he has ADCs, he has assassins, he has mages, he has anything you wanted, you name it, he plays it. It's just really good and it gives so much...
Big trade. Sorry, there was a big trade on StenBosse at the top side. I wasn't sure if he was going to die there.
To Macko, so I'm definitely looking for this Renekton and the impact he's going to have later on in the fights and the flanks he's going to be able to find. But I think we've talked enough about Macko, Munchables. Shall we jump over to the Polska Gurum of this matchup?
Yeah, I think so. And I think I want to take a moment and talk about the bottom lane here, right? With Czypsy and Udyr. When we look at this bottom lane, quite often it's been fairly quiet in the laning phase, but look at that kill participation from both of these bot laners. Everything Illuminar does revolves around these two players.
It revolves around these two players because they're just so bot heavy, and I'm not saying in a sense where they get all the ganks. It's because everything revolves around them. They're gonna wait for the perfect timing, for the perfect items, for the perfect experience, for the perfect level, and this is where they're gonna take Udyr, and this is where they're gonna put him in a fight, and Czypsy is always gonna be there, and they're basically just moving that duo around the map, dominating the entire rift one lane at a time, which is so impressive. And ADC close to 90% kill participation, and Czypsy with above 91. I think Czypsy's third kill participation in the entire league, and Udyr as an ADC's fifth in the entire league right now that we're playing in the Masters. This is nuts.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy to watch them, and it has very much been about the late game, very much about the team fighting and playing towards side lanes. Got a bit of support combat going on my screen right here. Czypsy is going in with the Ignite. What is happening? Now he's going to be rooted on up. Darkrai gets out. Czypsy feeling real aggro. Udyr was not on the same page at all.
Honestly, I loved what Czypsy did right there, because Darkrai was trying to pull a Hillisang. He was trying to freeze the wave until their king was back in lane to be able to soak the entire wave and not lose any to the tower. So at the end of the day, Darkrai almost lost his life right there, but the flash is still up, the heal is still up, and Czypsy just lost his Ignite.
Yeah, so it's going to be just the one summoner in the end, but a good effort from Czypsy. I thought he was going to get a support on support solo kill there. And we just set up how this bot lane likes to play for late game. But look at papatabachi going in, the veteran player in the Illuminar. Roster and Cboi, he's flashed in the wrong direction. He's flashed into the loving arms of papatabachi to get the first blood solo.
Because this champion is so fair manageable that he can just do that. He can just walk into the jungle, fight the opponent jungler. ADC is there. We don't care about that. What's that? That's a blast gun. I'll hit that as well. Slap this, slap the dragon, get the first blood, get the first dragon, start stacking them up. This is how you can also play towards your bot lane, because now Cboi is going to have to be so scared playing inside his own jungle. If papatabachi on his own can walk in and do so much damage to Cboi, imagine when he brings a friend over in the jungle.
You can only hope and pray now that this is one of those Medjai's Udyr games that we see, the fabled Medjai's Udyr that snowballs out of control.
You
Look
do
at
come
this
from the
roam up,
LPL,
though,
don't you?
from Macko. Czajek in trouble right here. The root's going to come in. The stun is there, but the flash is too clean. Dodges the root coming out from their king, and we'll be able to survive.
Lovely. It feels like Darkrai and their king are just taking summoners from everywhere, but I think they're about to lose some as well.
Here we go, Czypsy in again. This time, they're going to be able to follow up on the kill here. One goes down, Udyr gets out here. It's just going to be the one for now, but Cboi's in trouble again. Doesn't have his summoners available. Czypsy's able to follow up Udyr there. The double kill. papatabachi is large and in charge in this game. King trying to move forwards, but there's no way you can 3v1 this.
Oh, baby. 6 minutes in, 3-0 Udyr. Cboi's like, I'm gonna raise you my trap card, and papatabachi is like, cool, I'm just gonna ignore it altogether and just go with the Udyr. So I did comment here, King and Darkrai for making that raw mid lane, taking a lot of summoners from Illuminar, but at the end of the day, they get stuck into the river, they get sandwiched in between a rock and a hard place. 4 members of Illuminar had already roamed first into the river, and now that's a 3-0 Udyr, and if you were scared of him before when he had no kills, after he's been to base, after he's cashed in, he's definitely gonna be looking for Cboi in his jungle.
Yeah, look at the goal difference in the jungle right now. 1.1 thousand. papatabachi is having the game of his life right here. And you know, I was coming into this game saying, you know, this is Illuminar. This is one of the slow teams in the whole tournament. This is one of the teams that were expected to have a really quiet early game. Not today. Cboi locked in Karthus, and papatabachi took that personally.
But you know what? I really love the adaptation from Illuminar right here, because we're like, oh, Resident Evil, what? No, wrong game. Resident Sleeper.
Different game.
Resident Sleeper laning phase for Illuminar. They're just not gonna play the game at all until they have the items they want to, in the temps they want, in the levels they want to. And honestly here, they're like, if we do this, Karthus outscales, so we cannot allow this to happen. And papatabachi has been so on point with his positioning and catching Macko off guard. I really put in my eyes on him right now to see how he can continue to extend his lead after that 3-0.
Yeah, got to keep our eyes on papatabachi. Used to be Tabasco, you know, back in the day. He's changed his name.
That is the
come back strong.
best rename ever, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, definitely one of my favorite player names. One of my favorite players in the tournament, honestly. Just, I like to see the veterans coming back. I like to see players being able to be consistent over the years. But now with the 3-0 lead, he's in prime position to be able to step up in this game and lead the early game. And that's important to mention that this composition, when you've got a Caitlyn, it's very easy to snowball ahead in the game and have a very, very strong snowball if you can get towards those towers. But the Rift Herald did go the way of Macko. So now we've got to look towards Cboi and where he wants to place that Herald, where he wants to put some gold in.
Yeah, and also because you only have the Gnar, which is Melonik, and he wants to play towards the side lane, you need to secure another sort of hard engaged champion. And unfortunately, the only one that was left was the support pick, and he had to go down towards Czypsy. So he doesn't have the same impact as a mage would together with Caitlyn, that they're permanently be able to push. But look at that. Look at that. Bye. Cboi, you're out. You just not.
Cboi.
Yeah.
This is not his jungle anymore. The second he walks
this
up to race, the
map.
whole gang comes along.
Yeah.
Illuminar just popping up in the Cleo, just sticking out the windows, looking for a car radio. Here we go. Sebekx, though, almost face checks into papatabachi.
This game is so interesting. Instead of the junglers going to bot lane, we've seen twice the two bot lanes roaming towards the jungle. It was Czajek in a Darkrai, and then it was Udyr and Czypsy. So the junglers are not the junglers anymore. They're the carries of the team. And the bot lanes are the ones chasing them around to get kills for them. This is how this game is going to go from now on, Macko.
Well, I'm here for it. 20 seconds until Ocean Drake. First Drake of the game went to Illuminar. Are we expecting a similar thing here? Are we expecting Illuminar to be able to snowball these?
Definitely. You have the Udyr that's gone back. He's got the Bamicinda. He's so much tankier than before. He's got the boots completed. That means no one who dishes auto attacks can hurt him, aka Renekton, that's really strong after level 6, now that he has his ultimate. They do have the big Scuttle Crab to give them a lot of vision, which is very important, but keep your eyes on papatabachi and how he's going to be able to impact this fight after all this gold has been purchased. Very clever here by Macko, of course, to put the pressure down mid so they can move into the river.
Yeah, dropping the Herald in the mid lane to try and get themselves priority, get a couple of plates as well, which Cboi will obviously get the gold for solo because he drops the Herald. And it will mean that Macko are able to get this Drake for themselves. Czypsy toying with the idea of going in solo as a support. We saw him do that earlier. Didn't really quite work out, but papatabachi, in the meantime, wants to answer at the other side of the map. Not going to go for a dive on StenBosse here. Instead, going to look for some jungle camps.
I don't necessarily like this too much here, Munch. I don't like the fact that they're giving away fully the dragon. The setup should have come much earlier from them. The fact that they also had the first dragon as Illuminar should have been a telltale right there of we're stucking them up. We cannot give any more room to the Karthus because yes, Cboi has died twice, but he's only 10 CS behind. He'll be fine. He'll find the farm eventually. Unless you pressure him to the point where he's not allowed completely in the jungle. And you see that now they've taken their foot off the throttle.
Well, Secret Agent papatabachi hasn't quite taken his foot off here because Cboi's going to have to face check in. He's been spotted. He's going to go for the wolves. And there's a bear in the jungle. This is a deep, dark wood and the bears are lurking. Easy kill. Fourth of the game for papatabachi, who is taking this into his own hands.
Yeah, I much prefer that. Keep doing it, but the TP's coming down board. It's double TP. Oh no. Run,
Odie's in trouble. He's going to be able to get 2 plates for himself. There's the net out. StenBosse is there. Sebekx should be able to close this one with the root in. Odie is donezo.
Yeah, that was a huge punishment right there, but you honestly have to see what they lose on the other side of the map, right? Mid lane, it's fine because Seraphine has taken care of that wave, but top lane is going to be heavily pushed. A lot of CS, a lot of experience is going to be lost from there, and no one's going to be able to soak that one up. So major props to Illuminar for staying top side. They did lose their ADC, but they managed to get something in return. And again, this is exactly what I was talking about. Don't let Cboi roam for free. Don't give him any camps, don't give him any minions. And papatabachi was like, got you. Runs into the jungle, instant punishes, and that is a double TP that they use to just catch Udyr down bot. Udyr's gonna say worth it, because he's like, well, I got the second plate over there, so I guess I'm allowed to die now.
Just like accepts his fate at that point.
He's like, worth. I got the plate.
Yeah, Udyr gets bodied, but you know what? He got a little bit of gold, so he'll be all right on that one. Melonik, however, may not be all right. He's 1v4 under the tower, but the flash away. Cboi can't chase it. Durkin taking a couple of tower shots. They have to back away. And as you said before, you got to look at what else. No, Cboi, that's not the right way. That's not the pair that you want to fight. The Phoenix is here. And papatabachi has 5 kills, 4 of them onto Cboi.
Oh no, that was literally seconds before disaster. If you play Cboi's blast gun in slow-mo, that is like the smallest violin in the world playing in the background because you know what's happening. And meanwhile, Udyr keeps hammering towers. He gets left alone in the bot lane, he takes plates. He gets left alone in the top lane, he takes towers. This guy is so fed. I would love to see, after this replay, the goal difference between the ADCs, because this is Melonik honestly outplaying 4 members at once, and that was like...
He's literally lands on him.
He's so
like
sad.
Waiting with his arms open, ready to catch Cboi and just clap
was like,
him.
surely not, right? Surely not. Surely that didn't happen. He was literally serving himself up on a plate. Chem tank now complete. Bramble vest and... oh my god, Sebekx.
Yeah, good escape there from Sebekx. We'll get out with his life on this one. But Illuminar completely in control of the map now, chasing down towards the mid lane. And Durkin, you got to get out of there. Can't greed for the 4th shot on this one. Herald is up on the map. And I want to just take a quick second here and just recap on what has been happening, Troll. Because we came in expecting Illuminar to play slow, but they've looked at the group. They've realized that this is not a group to be trifled with. This is a group where you're going to have to perform to make it out. And Illuminar have said, we're going to play fast and we are going to take control here against the PG Nationals 1st seed.
Honestly, correction right there. papatabachi said, I'm gonna play fast right here against Macko. You guys do what you're meant to do. You farm. You see top lane farm difference in the favor of Melonik. You see Czajek ahead as well. You see that Udyr is ahead as well. And papatabachi is like, I got you guys. You farm. I'll do all the work for you. 0 phone to Cboi Karthus. All those 4 deaths are because of papatabachi. He's popping off on Udyr, and honestly, here's where the item difference is gonna come through. You see that Cboi, he's so squishy. They're setting up a Fnatic bush.
Cboi's moving in. Shockwave a little bit whiffed on this sort of StenBosse. Looks to try and get onto Czypsy, but that's the target that they're quite happy to be engaged upon. In the meantime, Melonik is, he's doing Drake. He started this one by himself while the shenanigans kick off in the mid lane. He's just going to go ahead and kick that one off. papatabachi can now move over. Udyr's here as well. And remember, Caitlyn, when you can set the traps up in advance, can be incredibly strong in these fights. StenBosse jumps in, though. papatabachi, and she's taking a lot of damage, but that's a great solar flare. A great nod to follow it up. The encore across it disengages a little bit. It's a lot of damage from the Requiem across the team, but it's not enough damage. papatabachi gets the Drake, they get Sebekx. It's 1-for-1 in terms of the fight. And Illuminar, they're happy with that one.
Oh, that was the time. That was the chance for Macko. They want more.
I was wrong. Illuminar were not happy with that one. They want more. papatabachi chasing them down. This is 2v3, and papatabachi will not take no for an answer. Durkin finally chases him out, but papatabachi, Daddy Dabachi at this point, is completely in charge, and he's here to discipline Macko.
I was watching that play with my hands in the air here, matchups. I'm like, what in the world are you doing? Are you gonna reach the fountain? Are you gonna chase them onto the fountain? If there was a fight that Macko was gonna take, that was the one. They had their major mythic items completed. Only on the Karthus they didn't have one, and on the Seraphine, but all the other carries did. The Sion did, the Renekton did, and the Jhin. And once you see that the Shockwave misses, which is one of the big tools that Illuminar have, you're like, now is the fight. The Sion ulti whiffs, Sebekx runs in to try and kill papatabachi as well, but joke's on you, because this bear is uber fed. And when the Requiem lands like a boop, there's nothing. There's no big boom, there's no explosion, there's no health butts disappearing, because this Karthus is super tiny. He hasn't been able to farm up, he hasn't gotten any kills, only has 1 assist to his name, and Cboi is extremely underpowered for the current state of the game.
Yeah, I'd say it's like C- boy at this point, maybe even D boy, because he's 0 and 5. And the thing is, while he was channeling the Requiem right there, papatabachi just takes the Drake. He's like, yeah, okay, you were in range for the smite, but you're currently channeling Requiem, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this one. Cheers, buddy. papatabachi has been completely in control of the jungle matchup so far in this one. I will say, the sliver of light here is Dirking in that bottom side, right? Does have the 2 kills for himself, has that Gale Force, going for the last Whisper. So maybe if someone mispositions, that could be a way in for Macko. But let's be honest, 5,000 gold lead. You've got to believe that Illuminar are heavy favorites moving forward.
Absolutely, and I want to see what Illuminar are doing right now. They're moving Udyr around the map. Whatever outer tower is left, they're going to put the Caitlyn right there. She does have the range. You're just missing the wave. So just try to play through your lanes, push every side lane, try to force Macko to defend the side lanes, and then have Caitlyn in the mid, trying to take that one tower that's going to completely open the map for you, vision-wise, if you're Illuminar. So yes, 5,000 gold difference, and yes, a lot of it is on the Udyr. But this guy has been doing work. He has been shadowing the lanes he must. And look at Czajek as well. He's waiting on the sidelines, inside the bush, ready to defend Odi. So they're still, papatabachi might be ahead, but Odi, again, is the center of attention. He is their child, he is their baby, and they're protecting him with everything they have.
Yeah, Daddy Tabachi is there to protect his child Odi in the mid lane here.
He's diving, of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to threaten here, right? Because you can just walk this one on forwards. You've got a Caitlyn. Caitlyn's so damn good at taking these towers, and with papatabachi being so damn tanky, he can happily just walk in and threaten the idea of that dive. And now, I want to ask you, Trouble, what's next on the chopping block for Illuminar? Because it feels like they can just start to move around the map and take whatever objectives they want.
So the most important thing here for Illuminar with the mid tower going down is that you have much more access to Cboi's jungle and keep on depriving Karthus off of his farm, not allowing him to get any CS, will keep him as small as he is right now. He'll never get to the scaling point where you're like, okay, this Karthus is actually dangerous, we cannot fight, we need to kite the Requiem, get the damage first, come back up and reset. Cboi is going to need a lot of farm, and he's going to need it now. And with the mid lane tower going down, you bet that papatabachi is going to go in there and start putting down some real estate in Cboi's quadrants of the jungle.
Yeah, that's the important thing, right? Is you mentioned that mid lane tower's gone down. That's the 3rd tier 1 tower taken by Illuminar. Look how many Macko have right now. 0. So the line of control moves forward for Illuminar. They can start to put some deeper wards down with that tower gone. papatabachi, you know he's going to be confident enough to just walk into that jungle. And look how defensive Macko are being. They're just staying as a cluster. They know that if they separate, they cannot win. So they have to stay together here to be able to try and contest the Drake that's coming up in 5 seconds.
I want you to watch Melonik's rage bar because he just hit Mega Gnar and he's TPing in, and Czajek also has the flank. This shockwave is going to be huge for the fight.
If they can hit it. Cboi back to full health here. Keep your eyes on Czajek on this shockwave. Melonik looking for a way in. StenBosse going to be the front line here. Just slammed into the wall. papatabachi going in, trying to peel. Shockwave on turn 4. Durkin chased on down. papatabachi to finish that one off as his 19th kill of the game or something. Darkrai alone in the world, and the song can't save you now. That'll be 3 Drakes for Illuminar.
And what you said keeps echoing in my head right here, Mantables, because Czajek just laughed at you. If they can hit it, he hit 4 members. That was a huge shockwave coming from the mid lane of Illuminar. They grab all members of Macko, they absolutely dismantle them, they grab the dragon, they're gonna grab the Baron. And again, keep your eyes on Czajek and how patient he is with that. Melonik is gonna go in with a beautiful Mega Gnar. The side cannot tank anymore. Oh my god, absolutely destroyed. You thought the Karthus R button was strong? Well, have a look at the Orianna one.
That was more of a shock tsunami than a shockwave, honestly, at that point. Hitting 4 players and just obliterating them as well. And now, everything feels like it's going pretty well for Illuminar, right? They get the Drake for themselves. They got 3 Drakes for themselves. They've also got the Baron for themselves. There's bounties across the board. papatabachi 7-0-4 in this game. Feels like, you know, there's always that conversation of the Caitlyn, like, 2-item power trough where you can maybe get caught out, maybe it won't work out. Not when you're this far ahead. There is no power drop for Udyr. Melonik just gets away, the teleport completely wasted, and Illuminar, they don't want to let Macko get away with this one. They're going to punish with a mid lane tower here. Udyr will take this so damn fast.
You can't do that. You can't be on the side lane. You can't look to punish Gnar when the opponent team has a Caitlyn and a Baron buff and an entire wave pushing down mid lane, because your tower is just going to instantly disappear. And this is what Macko pull off. They pull the TPs and instantly Illuminar pull the trigger. They take mid lane tower, they take bot lane tower, and I'm assuming next one into the sides is possibly the top one if they don't want to go straight for the inhibitor once.
And this is a rough position for Macko to be in here. Papatabachi wants to push a little further forward. Just remember, this is the first seed. The shockwave goes in though. Darkrai so low. Built over Peacemaker just goes a tiny bit shy on that one. Melonik now goes to the bottom lane. And this is the thing, pressuring multiple lanes. This is how you get the most out of your Baron buff. There is a top tier 2 remaining still, so that's an option for Illuminar. He's really not afraid. There are 4 of them defending here in the bottom lane, while you see Udyr move up to the top side.
And this is so important because Illuminar is coming in as, again, the 3rd seed of the Ultra Liga. And historically, the 3rd seeds from Ultra Liga have not done very well. They've not done so hot. They've been in the groups. Some of them haven't even made it in the groups, but they have really fell flat on their face. Illuminar is the first 3rd seed team from the Ultra Liga to pull something like that off. If they win this game, which it's looking to be going that way, matchups, they're gonna be a really good contender. They're gonna be bringing the Polska Gurum hype back. The big name, the big org. When League Masters became a thing, papatabachi.
He's moving at the speed of light.
Stop.
Darkrai has to flash away. That is terrifying. That's the kind of thing that I have nightmares about every night as an AD carry main. Papatabachi just flying across the map with the Turbo Chem Tank. Minute and a half until Infernal Soul can come up. And I want to echo what you're just saying there, Trouble, in that if you think back to last year, the big rivalry was Ultra Liga versus LFL, right? Yep. And across groups so far, it's feeling like LFL is having a much better time of it. But Illuminar, as the 3rd seed, the team that had to fight through play-ins, are here. They realize that they've got to get these wins. They change their style. They read what their opponent wants to do. And papatabachi especially just plays a magnificent game. Now, though, they have to close it out. We've seen a few late game throws in EU Masters so far. I want to see a clean finish for Illuminar.
Oh, it's gonna be a clean finish. They're way far ahead with their itemization at this point. You see 3 items onto the Caitlyn. Papatabachi is like flying at 2.5 items at this point, and all the vision belongs to Illuminar. Macko are literally gonna have to use StenBosse as a shield to try and walk through their own jungle, to try and deprive Illuminar from that Infernal Soul. And even if they do, papatabachi is 1 level up. He's got the smite advantage over Cboi. It's not going to be an easy task here,
Yeah, we're going to have a fight, I'm pretty sure. Drake's up in 20 seconds. Oh! In goes Melonik. The shockwave is there as well to follow up. Not even having to be used early on. And the Requiem, that's going to be more of a tickle than anything else. Papatabachi is 1v2 in the backline, chasing down Durking. I can just sprint out on the top side of the fight. Czajek trying to chase him down as well. Papatabachi onto StenBosse. Melonik there as well. And they're just kiting him around. They're just running circles around him. It's going to be a Sion. He's going to be tanky, but he sure ain't going to be able to 2v1.
And you wanted clean, they're giving you clean. They run down Macko, they slap them with the big fat money they have in their hands right now, and you just see that. Melonik just about to turn Mega now. Papatabachi doesn't care, he hasn't cared the whole game. He just runs straight into them. Huge now onto 3 squishy members of Macko right there. And from there on out, it was a scramble to try and fight anyone. If you're Macko right here, Dead King gets away with a sliver of health, and they all just try to run away from papatabachi, right? And you want a textbook? They're giving you a textbook. They won the fight. They didn't try to take any towers. They're not going to the dangerous route. They take Infernal Soul, which will make the next fight much more explosive, let's say.
Yeah, I mean, they're already 13,000 gold up, and now they got the Infernal Soul. That feels pretty good. And, you know, I want a textbook, but textbook, to me, is like, set up around the Drake, let the enemy try and contest, turn on to them when they come in.
As well.
They didn't wait and play textbook. They threw the textbook at Macko. They were like, hey, forget the Drake. We're fighting in mid lane. We're just going to run at you and take you down. And Melonik especially, really, really great performance on this Gnar. He's not been the general highlight player because of how explosive the early game was, but these Gnar ults in the fights have been real good.
It's beautiful. Everyone has been performing as they should. And honestly, we put the finger down to Udyr and Czypsy. And they've just been roaming around, right? The Caitlyn has just been used as a tool to take towers. It's been the top side of the map this time for Illuminar popping off. And it's just so refreshing to see how they can change their playstyle. Now, Macko, you're gonna have to face this, my dudes.
They don't even kill the blue ward. They're just like, you can watch us take it. Don't worry about it. Czypsy in trouble here, but he's actually walking away with his life. It doesn't feel like Macko can get anything. Udyr, in the meantime, is 1v4ing and nearly kills Dirkring. Anyway, Melonik off on the side, and Macko realize they can't stick around here. They can't keep going for this one, but Melonik might not let them get away. Papatabachi sprinting down at the speed of light here, trying to chase down Macko. Get back in your base. This is not your rift.
Angry me right there is like, I'll push you back if I want to, because I am actually huge. 3 waves running in at once. You want a textbook, they're giving you textbook.
Here we go. Last fight potentially. StenBosse goes in and will go down as well. The heal comes through, but Cboi almost one-shot immediately. Finally goes down into his passive though. Still survived for now. Another shockwave, another Gnar, and another team fight as Illuminar make the game look easy. Dirking desperately trying to hold on to his KDA because it's all he's got left in this game. The inhib will go down, and Illuminar come out of the gate swinging. They're going to take this game in 30 minutes, and they make it look clean.
And the Polska Gurum hype is back, baby, and it's coming from no other than the 3rd seed. The guys who had to fight the odds, the guys who had to fight through the flames, the guys who brought back the name that ended 2nd back in 2018, Illuminar. What a great adaptation, what a great swap of playstyle. That was so refreshing and so well played from them.
Yeah, and I think refreshing is the best word right there. You hit the nail on the head. That felt like a breath of fresh air, right, from Illuminar. This is a team that we've been wanting a little bit more from. We're wanting a bit more pace out of them. And papatabachi is like, oh, pace? What's that? I'm just going to run into the jungle at level 3 and solo kill the enemy jungler. Is that fast enough for you? Yeah, papatabachi, that's pretty quick. Yeah, what a game from Illuminar. What a game.
That was actually really well played. I really loved seeing the adaptation of having the top side of the map actually be the real focus, if you will, from Illuminar. And they were like, yeah, Udyr and Czypsy, you've had a lot of kill participation. You're kind of taken away from ours. So now we're just going to let you roam around and take towers, and we're going to do the rest for you. So it was just really fun to watch.
Yeah, this game was the story of Daddy Tabachi, and I'm hoping we get to see more of him coming out across the course of the tournament. We're going into a quick break, and then we go into another game of PG Nationals versus Ultraliga. Don't go anywhere.
I can't help myself, and I really want to show you that I want to get to know you. Believe what I told you. I can't help myself when I look into your eyes. I see you don't want to fight. There's no need to stop trying, because I'll never give up on you, even if that's what you want me to do. Give me a chance, because I know I can prove. Baby, the last thing I want is to lose you. And I can feel the pain deserve more than I ever gave you. You can fall into my arms. Yeah, I promise I can change for your love. Oh, baby, I don't mind, 'cause your love's so hard to find. I wanna make it right. Every last bit of my heart I give to you. Oh, baby, I don't mind, baby, 'cause your love's so hard to find. Baby, I wanna make it right. Every last bit of
All or nothing. Boy, have we got some clips for you in this segment. My goodness, if you have not been watching, if you've missed that absolute banger of a game, we're going to teach you the difference between papatabachi and daddy tabachi. My name is Munchables. I'm joined by Trouble Egg. As we just saw Illuminar just wipe the floor, and specifically papatabachi just destroyed Cboi. Yeah, so this was my favorite moment when we saw Cboi just fall into the loving arms of papatabachi, who's just happily there to sweep up the kills. And oh, look at this! Look at the T-Tours here. Cboi doesn't know what's coming, and they just fly in. Easy peasy kills. The solar flare. Cboi, he doesn't even get to play the game at that point.
All right, perfect. And I just wanted to say a really cool quote. I'm going to say it anyway. This was 2021 expectations versus reality from Macko coming in right there, because Cboi was like, I will raise you my card.
So as you can see, across the course of these fights, it was fairly one-sided, I think it's fair to say. My favorite fight was in the mid lane, but this was one of the ones where after they got the Barret, they got the Infernal Soul. The last-ditch effort from Macko had to come on through, and Udyr with the Caitlyn combo there onto Cboi as well, keeping it clean, keeping it nice and cleanly. Melonik, yet another great combo alongside the Orianna Shockwave. It was just beautiful, beautiful team fighting coming out from Illuminar across the course of the series, or across the course of the game. Look at the scoreline, 19-4, completely one-sided, complete domination.
Look at the Karthus damage. This is why papatabachi tried his darnest to not let him scale, because that was a Karthus that was what? 0-5 down, 0-6 down, and he still did almost as much damage as Czajek, who was top damage for the side of Illuminar. And honestly, I'm so happy to see the turn of events right here, because Cboi pulled out a really important card out of his hat, right? He's like, I'm gonna hit you with my Karthus, and papatabachi said, I don't give a flying F about your Karthus. I'm gonna run you down.
Yeah, we need Canon soundboard for this kind of these kind of statements, but
I don't have
one. No respect for the Karthus. Cboi brings out the pocket pick, and papatabachi's like, put it back in your pocket, okay, buddy. Let's do that one another time. Unbelievable performance, and you know, we just saw PG Nationals up against Ultraliga. We're going into PG Nationals up against Ultraliga again. It's going to be Makers up against Kick, and Kick, they've been having a bit of a rougher time of it so far, Trouble.
Yeah, they brought the hype, train, they brought the sensation back in 2020, and ever since they just haven't been able to find success. I just really hope that Kick is just honestly going to get kicked on the butt and actually wake up for that game.
We'll have to see what Kick are going to have up their sleeves. I'm excited for this following game, because Makers as well, a team that could have a lot up their sleeves. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to go into a break, and then we'll go into PG Nationals versus Ultraliga Round 2.
Polska Górą.